Hello, I'm Buzzy Blue. Join me for a bedtime story. How to Not Catch a Cold. It's about two adventurous children who start off trying to catch a cold. Mia and Max were tucked into bed, warm as toast, while moonlight made a silver stripe across the blankets. Max hugged his bear and whispered, "I heard and sneeze." Mia blinked slowly and whispered, "Maybe it's a virus." Mom smiled and said, "A cold or virus isn't a real bug. It's a tiny germ that can make noses run and throats feel scratchy." Max sat up like a brave knight and said, "Let's catch it." Mia tiptoed like a quiet cat and said excitedly, "We can build a trap." They went to the kitchen and set a bowl on the table, propped up with a spoon, and placed a cookie underneath like treasure. Mia drew a sign that said, "Free cookie." Max nodded seriously and whispered, "No bug can resist a cookie." Then Grandma Nola walked in, wrapped in a soft blanket, holding a warm mug. She spoke in the gentlest bedtime voice and said, "Oh, sweethearts, we don't catch a cold with traps." Mia frowned a tiny frown and asked, "Then what do we do?" Grandma Nola smiled and said, "We stop them before they reach us." Grandma Nola held up one finger and said we use a shield. Shield 1, wash your hands well with soap and water. She held up a second finger and whispered, Shield 2, sneeze or cough into your elbow. She held up a third finger and whispered, Shield 3, use a tissue and put it in the garbage right when you are done. She held up a fourth finger and whispered, Shield 4, keep your hands away from your eyes, nose, and mouth. She held up a fifth finger and whispered, Shield 5, get enough sleep, it gives your body strength. Mia and Max rushed to the sink and washed their hands like they were wiping off invisible jelly. Then they practiced the elbow shield, slow and silly, like sleepy superheroes. Mia made a game called Nose is Lava, Eyes are Lava, Mouth is Lava. Just like the floor is lava. If they almost touch, they freeze and reset. Max made a game called Tissue Toss, where he aimed the tissue into the trash like a basketball star. From the hallway came a real sneeze, not scary, just sleepy. It was Dad, holding a tissue, whispering, "Sorry." Max pointed gently and said, "Elbow shield." Dad did it, nodded, and whispered, "Thanks, team." Grandma Nola smiled and said, "We don't catch cold bugs. We guide them away with clean hands and kind habits." "Back in bed," Mia whispered. "No trap needed." Max yawned and whispered, "Just shields." Mom tucked them in and whispered, "If you feel sick, tell a grown-up, rest, and drink water." The house went quiet. The moon stayed soft, and Mia and Max drifted off to sleep, feeling safe and strong. The end. If you enjoyed that story, subscribe to Buzzy Blue. Thank you, and stay positive, my friends.